Their gunpowder milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard of a diner where guns aren't allowed. The staff says, "Can I lighten your load? Don't shoot anything or they'll have to charge." Gunpowder Milkshakes is a Netflix original directed by Novoa Papuchado, and if I got even remotely close to pronouncing that name correctly, I will be shocked. He directed Big Bad Wolves, and it stars a ton of people, as most movies do, unless you're like the first Paranormal Activity movie or the first Blair Witch Project that had a really small staff as far as production and cast, but also set box office records and made more money than I or most people will see in 5 fucking lifetimes. But anyway, let's talk about this. They had Karen Gillan, Lena Headey, Paul Giamatti, Ralph Ineson, who was terrific in The Witch, by the way, Carla Gugino, Angela Bassett, Michelle Yeoh, as well as many others, because it would be weird if it was a big-budget movie like this and only had those people. As good as that cast is, you need extras, and boy, this movie has a ton of extras. It's an assassin-y, gunfighty, action-y, flicky, flick, with quite a bit of gore and a lot of hot women shooting shit. And let me tell you right now, Karen Gillan, my god, she is fucking beautiful. She was great in Oculus, she's been great in other movies. Lena Headey, she was in 300, still looks great. Paul Giamatti, great character actor. Carla Gugino, looks as great as she did in Sin City. Angela Bassett must have found the goddamn fountain of youth or the blood of the innocent. That's a horrible accusation, but she looks incredible. And Michelle Yeoh, she looks great, and was in one of my favorite movies of the last 25 years, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So, as far as titles go, this one isn't very subtle because we open with a young girl and about 19, 20 or whatever, waiting for her mother to show up. Like, what the hell's going on? There's a milkshake with a couple straws. And, of course, it turns out that the mother has done something and she needs to go away. It's basically Scarlett, played by Lena Headey, telling her daughter Sam she's got to leave her because she did something bad, but also Sam made the pants too long. If you get that reference, I fucking love you guys. And then we flash forward about, 15 some odd years later, and we have Karen Gillan playing the grown-up Sam. Young Sam was played by Freya Allen, who I've seen in a couple movies before. And there's The Firm, headed by Paul Giamatti. Because, of course, Paul Giamatti, at this stage of his career, would head, a secret government agency that's full of assassin-y stuff and everything. And you must carry out these assignments and do it right. And if you don't do it the way we want, we will kill you. So anyway, so basically she's got to get some money back. There was a guy that stole some money from them. And, well, got to do something. What the hell's going on? Why would this person steal money from some place called The Firm? So again, as far as originality goes, The Firm, Gunpowder Milkshake, because, there's assassins drinking milkshakes in a couple scenes. I mean, it's not exactly the most subtle stuff, but it is what it is. The movie also has a ton of witty dialogue, I do want to say. In fact, I fucking pretty much love this goddamn movie. There were a couple issues I had that I'll get into, and I'll get into spoilers in a little bit, but I really had a great time watching this, because it kept the pace up. The color scheme was really nice. The acting was really good. It had that cool feel, but it didn't feel like it was winking at the camera at you. Yes, obviously the characters were doing this stuff and some were cliche, but it worked. Every bit of even the stupid stuff really worked in the movie's favor because it was just a lot of fun. And that's the thing. Sometimes all you need from a movie that has a bunch of hot women chewing shit up is to just have it be fun. So it's after basically, Sam is like, okay, I got to take care of some stuff. Let me go to this library and a gun shop with friends that it turns out knew her mother. Carla Gugino playing Madeline, Anime played by Angela Bassett, and Florence played by Michelle Yeoh. No, not Florence and the Machine. The dog days are not over. The dog days aren't over. Or maybe they are. But you better run for your, run all faster, run for your mother. I have ruined this song and another. So let's just go on. And I could have done without the slow-mo in some parts. I think that kind of got overdone. Not nearly as much as Army of the Dead. Check out my rant of that if you want. And it turns out after trying to get the money back and accidentally doing something she shouldn't have, she tries to save this person and then also takes the daughter as her charge. The daughter is played by the young girl that was in that movie My Spy with Dave Bautista, a movie of such renown that Amazon put it out on Prime and it didn't even get a theatrical release. It was delayed a bunch, and then also because of the pandemic, they're like, here, let's just shove this out. I watched it, and I liked Dave Bautista. The movie wasn't very good. So anyway, of course we get double crosses because naturally when you have assassins and you have double crosses and triple crosses and oh my god, Sandman's on the cross. So we get just a bunch of who can you trust? Who can you love? Wait, no, not that song. You get people everybody's just going to go after Sam for again making the pants too long, and also because they think that she did something bad. And it turns out actually she didn't. And maybe the people that she's been working for weren't the most trustworthy. I did like the bowling alley battle. There was some pretty good stuff here. Some really good fights. And obviously you know where this stuff's where it's going as far as like her mother disappeared and then her mother will reappear at one point, such as the, tradition of movies. And it does end up having, the obvious stuff where the women have to fight back and against these hordes of people. Seriously, it's like a freaking endless supply. It's like, Gauntlet Dark Legacy and you haven't closed the enemy gate and enemies just keep pouring out. And then you have to go beat the enemy that's not Sauron and beat him and everything. And this is getting weird. This movie was fucking terrific, though, because it, again, kept the pace up, had the witty dialogue, and the gunfights didn't really feel like they were necessarily stale. Everything felt like it worked. The characters interacted like, I'm not going to say like real people, because it was almost like a comic book, but it was just fun. And then, obviously they do a sequel hook at the end and stuff like that, which I won't spoil here, but I will say that they do a sequel hook, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But there were a few issues I did have. I could have done without the slow-mo. I think the movie went about 10 minutes too long. There were a couple times where I was like, okay, maybe this is a bit much. But overall, like 90% of the goddamn movie, I really, really loved. I really thought it was great. So, as far as action movies go, this is one of the best ones that Netflix has done in a while, in my personal opinion. So, I would highly recommend it. Now, I'm going to get into spoilers here. Spoilers. Go see it. It's on Netflix. Spoils. Start now. Spoils. It's like the spoiler, not the wrestler. So, anyway, Sam was too busy making the pants too long to realize that she shot this guy that she shouldn't have shot. It was accidental. Takes charge of the daughter. Goes to this doctor to try and fix him up. And then it turns out this doctor's in on the whole thing. There are these guys that are trying to like get the money and everything because they have the daughter kidnapped. And I do miss Blockbusters and video stores, because there was this thing in the video store where these guys are wearing these masks. And the bowling alley battle was kind of funny, and that was actually really well done as far as the color scheme and stuff like that. It must have been Disco Night. Night Fever. We know how to ow. Anyway, it just beats people up while these kidnappers watch. And it turns out that Paul Giamatti basically has to say his character, Nathan, he's like, well, things have gone tits up. People are saying this. Let's just get rid of her. Okay, but she's really good. She just beat up 3 of our guys. Get rid of her. Go do more shit. So, she ends up rescuing the daughter, and then she says, if I get out of this alive, I'm coming after you. She doesn't know that her dad's dead yet. The kidnappers end up kind of turning on each other. One shoots one, and then the money blows up and stuff like that. And since the money blew up, oh no, that's not necessarily the best thing. And then the mom, of course, always comes back, because we need more Lena Headey in movies. I mean, seriously, fucking good. Looked great in 300. My God, she looked great in 300. But she shows up. She had her own issues with the firm. That's why she had to leave. And then we do get an elevator thing at one point, and just a bit earlier in the movie, Sam actually gets her arms like numbed because this doctor finds out, oh, she's no longer with the firm. Well, I can just do this after she beat up all these guys in the bowling alley, and it'll make her arms numb with a drug. But then she didn't count on her being able to tell this kid to tape a knife to her hand and tape a gun to her other hand and everything, and she could just do this stuff. So I guess her arms were numb, but her hands weren't, and she had her hand taped to the trigger and was just doing this, and it was comical, beating up these people, beating up this one guy that she beat up so bad that he was in a wheelchair, just shooting, killing, and everything, despite the fact that her arms were rubber. It was incredible. And then, yeah, well, they didn't want to swear in the library. The women didn't, so it's like everything's just fudged up, which I don't know why it's funny. Carla Gugino, God fucking damn it, she looks great. And well, it turns out that Sam is gonna sacrifice herself for again making the pants too long. Okay, I'll stop saying that one of these days. And she tells the girl, hey, I shot your dad, and I'm doing this to basically save you and everything. I'm doing this to atone. No, it's not true. It turns out she did shoot her dad, but it was what it was. So they basically enter the library. It's a whole big shootout and everything. It's not like that Oreo ad where everybody had to be quiet. And then Mom and Basically everybody gets reunited and stuff like that because of course they fucking do. Carla Gugino's character ends up getting shot, which is disappointing. Anime was around just some trees or whatever. Really lavish library. This budget must have been absolutely insane. So I don't really, I don't know why there was a giant axe wielding like bearded guy that was just out of nowhere. It was almost like Troll in the dungeon, but he was one of the henchmen. And then Madeline, Carla Gugino's character, gets buried at this cabin in the woods that they just suddenly have somehow. And then they go to the diner. Because it turns out that Ralph Evanson's character, one of the people that Sam shot was his son. So he wants to atone by, hey, we got the kid, we kidnapped her, and we're going to basically trade your life for hers, but she's going to watch what I do to you. Because I had 4 girls and a son. You took away my ability to not have a chatty house of women, and now I'm going to, or with, a son and 4 women, and now I can't get any sleep, and I'm going to kill you for it. As good an explanation as any. So she said, you're a special kid, Emily. I wish I had, more time to get to know you. So during this time, like, you can't bring guns into the goddamn diner. Well, none of the guys could, and all the guns were, like, stored in this particular place. And then it turns out that the staff was actually the other women, the ones, not Carla Gugino, like, they got the guns. Well, since these guys don't have any guns, even though they're outnumbering them, like 10 to 1, they all get shot and destroyed and everything. And it's fucking hilarious. Dine and dash away. Diners, drive-ins, and dies. And one guy gets shot going through the window. It's really, really good stuff. Sam and Emily talk, and we get a sequel hook because she's got her gun pointed at Paul Giamatti's chest and says, you either make this go away and you go away, or we're going to kill you. Yeah, A-. Really good. It's not, there's a few flaws, but overall this movie is really goddamn good. I fucking love it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.